Julie, move, sit down.
And you done it. Don't go there. You get loud, dude. I'm going. They are not expected to take that Here's who Mel and Todd project to go number one. They say it's going to be Jadeveon Clowney. In fact, Mel and Todd in lockstep in the top five.
Sit back, relax. Don't make him get scared. Just sit back and relax.
Sammy Watkins and Mike Evans moving up into the top five for both Mel.
All the way
We
up.
got much more draft news coming up.
Like Chris's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of the best way for me to be able to use my size, my body, to continue to put pressure on him on both sides of the football.
Sports Nation. Presented by Toyota.
We're going to talk about Russell Westbrook and probably make fun of that shirt. We also have some Johnny Manziel draft rumors. What? And Jadeveon Clowney says he's the next LT. First up, rely on Roy. Well,
Oh, and I got the pat pad, Chris.
Third, if Clowney's in that draft, he's your number 3 pick. Those two are coming off the board first. We don't have that this year. That puts Clowney firmly in that spot. But even now, we haven't got the full commitment that he's the guy.
Yeah, that's correct, because it could be Manziel, although there's, as Mike Mayon predicted his mock draft, another Texas destination that he might wind up in tonight. And then there's also Khalil Mack. You never know if Khalil Mack is going to be in the mix tonight for the Houston Texans. Let's get things started again about 2 hours before the Texans will put on the clock from Houston right now. Steve Leitch kicking things off with us in our 6 p.m. hour. Steve.
Well, thanks a lot, Rich. Well, look, Rich, any minute now they're going to open the doors here at Reliance Stadium and let in between a projected 6,000 to 8,000 fans who will probably hear Jadeveon Clowney's name heard with that first overall pick you were just talking about. You can't rule on Khalil Mack. General Manager Rick Smith has really played it close to the vest with this, but he also told me he has had some trade discussions. Compensation is an issue. We have to see if some team would come up and pay what the Texans want, but he also doesn't want to drop too far back, because he wants to get the player that they want to get. It looks like he's going to have the number 1 pick, and it looks like it'll be Jadeveon Clowney. Now let's go to the team that has a 3rd overall pick, right in Jacksonville. That's where we'll find Jeff Darwin.
Steve, the Jaguars could go in any number of directions at number 3. We obviously know usual suspects.
He's gonna look a little bit different.
Sammy Watkins, Johnny Manziel. Those are names that we've been talking about all week. One other one we should throw out there, wide receiver from Texas A&M, Mike Evans. Understanding that nobody really has him in the top 5, perhaps it would be a situation where the Jaguars try to trade down to get him somewhere else, or perhaps they feel good enough about him at number 3. But this team is intrigued by Evans. They very much also like Sammy Watkins. So usual suspects, but let's also ask Evans to
It's okay,
Mom.
He just getting my hair.
That were just about 2 hours from Ray Farmer and Mike Pettin's first draft as a Browns franchise. They finished tinkering with their draft board at about 10 last night, and I'm told it has not changed today. Pettin and I talked this week about how some set of these 10 picks could be what pushes the Browns over the proverbial hump. Now, this is the deepest draft he's ever been a part of, he said, and his expectations are high. The 2 picks today, the 3 picks tomorrow, he wants 4 of 5 of those guys to be starters. He's loose. There's a lot of confidence in this building, because after all, there's always hope in Cleveland on draft day. Now let's head out to Oakland and Omar Ruiz live.
Hi, Edie. We know Reggie McKenzie covets picks, and if he doesn't trade out of the number 5 spot, we know that it would be very hard for the Raiders to pass on either Khalil Mack or Sammy Watkins. We're told that they're both viewed as those impact players Reggie McKenzie is looking for. They're both viewed as guys who could come in here and make a difference right away. So, Rich, that's a big, if they're available, could be a big pick for the Raiders.
We're back here on the Radio City Music Hall set. What do you think Brian Billing, when it all comes down to it, a surprise in tonight's draft. Is it a Manziel surprise, you believe?
That would be a huge surprise for me. I'm looking at the surprises of positionally. We're even hearing, for a long time, Sammy Watkins. Now we're hearing maybe even Mike Evans. These corners, you got Fuller, you got Denard. Who's going to go first? We may see Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle, all of a sudden come into the front 10. So we're saying this is a deep draft, 16, 17 players, but now we're hearing all sorts of things. It's not going to be a surprise that we're surprised at the order that these guys come off the board at virtually any position. The offensive tackles is pretty much assumed it's going to be Robinson. Then it's probably going to, Lalonde is the third guy, and then you're going to have Matthews number 2. That could even change. So the order that these guys come off the board, based on what we're talking about, there are going to be some surprises.
Yeah, you covered a lot of great ones, Coach. What if the top quarterback that comes off the board is not named Manziel, is not named Bortles, right? What if it's Derek Carr? I mean, the Oakland Raiders could be a wild card at number 5 for Derek Carr. They like him an awful lot. I don't think they're going to go in that direction, but if their board gets messed up a little bit, if Evans goes even higher than maybe people think, who knows what can happen.
Well, you talk about the 2 top wide receivers in the draft, Evans and Watkins. You talk about the 2 pass rushers that are tops, Clowney and Mack. And then you talk about the 3 top tackles that are best.
I'm doing a video.
You're talking about maybe 7 players going on the board. We haven't even mentioned
It shows your skills.
It's such a deep draft at the top, and then because of that, it pushes everybody down from 12 to 10 or 11 to 19 and 20. It's going to be a remarkable.
It's going to highlight your skills, all your ranges of expertise.
With the latest draft buzz, Ian, what are you hearing?
Rich, you guys have been talking about some of these star receivers in this draft. Let me give you some insight into a possible trade that we've been tracking really for the last several weeks. The Detroit Lions possibly trading up for Sammy Watkins. It could be at maybe the number 3 spot, could be at the number 4 spot. We know the Cleveland Browns are more than open to moving back. And, this is something the Lions have been very, very quiet about over the last several days. Martin Baker, the general manager, has not told anyone what he is going to do. But at Watkins' pro day plus, and the Lions spent more time with him than anyone. Megan with Jim Caldwell took him out to lunch. There was a period of days where they spoke to Watkins almost every day. So if you're wondering which popular trade we may see early on, this is certainly something to keep an eye on. But it is
we can't live lined up.
not going to be the only trade up for a receiver that we'll see in this draft.
When you talk about flashpoints,
Oh, okay.
first round of the draft,
Okay.
you take a look at the first overall pick. It's a spot that might be of value to be trading for. The value is so high that we might not see anything there. But then there's the number 2 overall pick in this draft and the number 13 overall pick in this draft, both owned by the same team, the St. Louis Rams. So that's why we put somebody as crucial to the NFL Media Day as Michael Silver in that war room. He joins us exclusively from that war room right now with the head coach. Michael, take it away.
Thanks, Rich. Jeff, 2 years ago when I was in here, we had some drama. Michael Brockers, you ended up trading down. Last year, obviously, going up to get Tavon. Do you anticipate more losing and dealing with picks 2 and 13?
I think we always have tensions. It's interesting just recently. I'll start going a little bit. So, it's obviously we're getting close, so we'll see. But we've got 4 to 6 guys that we like, and we're actually just in a pretty good spot right now.
I know you for a long time. You've got that look in your eye, that confident look in your eye. You feel like no matter what happens, you're going to come away with a couple of Big Ten players here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, again,
he's a big boy.
Separate the 2 teams.
He's a big boy.
It could get complicated.
He's a big boy.
Differently, but the 13th pick is one we're going to have a fun with.
How exciting is this room for you? I mean, you've got to be calm, you've got to be in the center of the storm. You're going to have Les Snead coming down off the people making a call in New York. Are you getting
Yeah, film me and CJ do it.
I gotta tell you, one of the great triumphs of my career was not getting kicked out during.
What you want me to do?
So
my only regret is how I allowed you to come back in here again.
It's really shocking. Do you have any advice for the Texans while we're here? They're on the block pretty soon. Any advice for them?
Well, I'm sure Rick's going to take us.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You
His hair is so different.
Got it. Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. Wait, did you feel it?
Back to you, Rich.
Did you feel it?
Thank you. Well done, Michael Silver.
Oh,
Hey,
it's a
the officials
big
being
one.